Hello, guys. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And thanks a lot for joining this webinar today. As usual, we will cover this webinar both in Hindi and English, and I'll make sure to, emphasize on the key points both in Hindi and English. Uh, I thought that this was a good time to do a webinar on strike valuation setup, which is nothing but a combination of technicals and fundamentals. So ऐसे मार्केट में यू नो हमें एक्चुअली में दोनों चीज़ देखनी चाहिए, टेक्निकली और फंडामेंटली भी, बिकॉज काफ़ी सारे चीज़ों के वैल्यूएशन करेक्ट हो गए हैं, बट क्या अभी तक मोमेंटम वापस आया है? तो द आंसर इज नो फॉर दैट. तो मोमेंटम कब आके कब अच्छा सेटअप बनेगा, दैट इज व्हाट broadly we will be covering in this webinar. So over a period of time, as we have seen valuations and RMI also, so we have figured out a way jahan pe so there is a question from all technically failed on Black Friday, Sergi. So wait for the webinar. I hope you will get a lot more clarity and you will understand what to do. But one has to understand that fundamentally or technically आपने देख लिया, but position and sizing is also important. So there will be some focus towards that as well. Maybe this webinar, I mean, when I start presenting, it might stretch a little bit more than 1 hour, but I'll try to keep it crisp and concise so that you understand the gist of it, and hopefully implement it. So see, the whole idea for this webinar is that कि बहुत टाइम ऐसा होता है कि मार्केट एक एक्सट्रीम से दूसरे एक्सट्रीम पे आता है, एंड every time it actually overshoots our expectation, be it on the way up or on the way down. So the whole idea is to understand the process. What is it that we need to look out for, and how is it that we need to execute it? Okay. So just to let you know, I mean, different people might have different techniques. So the broader idea is to make you understand the process. आप अगर वो प्रोसेस समझ जाओगे तो यू कैन ऑल्टर इट एज पर योर नीड्स. ओके. So that is the whole idea. And just to let you know that since we have started doing the webinars, so we are running exclusive offers for the people who are attending this webinar, and this is restricted only till we are having the webinar. So for 1 year, I think the price is 4200, and for 6 months the price is 2500. Someone from our team will post the link, and you can sign up over there. And once you sign up, just let us know, just let us know in the comments so that we can activate your subscription. So you have just got the message from Strike Money. So you can go to that link and pay it, and you will avail this offer, because right now if you don't pay through this link, so you get a 1 year for 5600, but with the scheme it is at 4200. So without wasting much time, let us come back to the topic. So let me present my screen. So see, I have prepared a small presentation as well. I will just run you through that. In fact, yeah, this is the one. So see, in Strike Plus valuation setup, all that we are trying to do is that हम Rohit momentum indicator, which is RMI, which is a proprietary indicator. Okay. इसको हम कंबाइन कर रहे हैं वैल्यूएशन के साथ. ओके, द फंडामेंटल वैल्यूएशन. इसको हम दोनों को कंबाइन कर रहे हैं. सी द लॉजिक हमने ये स्क्रीन इसीलिए बनाया इज बिकॉज आपने बहुत टाइम देखा रहेगा कि हम कहते हैं कि ये वैल्यू स्टॉक है, इसमें डाउनसाइड बहुत कम है, बट हमेशा हम सरप्राइज हो जाते हैं विद द वे द stocks get beaten down even after thinking that okay, fundamentally they are very cheap. I think one of the live example, not live example, but one of the example was basically Tata Motors. I remember that Chandrasekaran had just taken over Tata Motors, and in fact Chandrasekaran was not there, but I think Cyrus Mistry was over there, and I think at 200, 250, everyone thought that it offered a huge value. Okay, and in fact even I thought that okay, this can be a good support level and so on. Even I think when you see the valuations and all, it was all okay, but then even from there, from 250 to 60 sort of levels, the stock fell all the way to 63. Okay, and that was a massive decline that the stock saw even after correcting 30-40%. एंड इसी में अगर हम सपोज वो वैल्यूएशन प्लस टेक्निकल का अगर हम कॉम्बिनेशन देखते, तो इट वाज टेलिंग यू दैट इट वाज नॉट अ गुड आइडिया. सो आई विल टेल यू द रीजन व्हाई. सो हमेशा यू हैव टू लुक एट द लॉन्गर टर्म ट्रेंड on RMI, okay, on the monthly chart, and see what is happening. So I will give you the setup as well. Okay, just bear with me for few minutes. But you can see that the monthly RMI was in sell. In fact, sorry, it was over here. Basically the monthly RMI was sell throughout this decline. Okay, and then there had been couple of whipsaws over there, and I'll tell you how to get rid of the whipsaws as well. But यहाँ पे position sizing is the only thing that will help you. Okay, so जैसे मैंने बताया कि आपको मैं ये process समझाऊंगा, and I have sort of put out the rules as well. So if you bear with me for some time. Okay, so यहाँ पे I have put out the rules as well, and this should definitely help you. Okay, so what I will do is that पहले तो मैं आपको RMI समझा दूंगा, and उसमें क्या setups देखना चाहिए, फिर मैं आपको valuation का थोड़ा बहुत बताऊंगा, and then towards the end of my presentation I will tell you how is it that you can blend both of this and try to find a very good setup. And it is not just for finding good setups, but it is also for basically managing your risk. Okay, so it will work both the ways. So I'm sure that if you're having a big portfolio and आपके पास अभी भी winners है जो इतने सारे correct नहीं हुए हैं, and you think that they are outperformers and they are likely to outperform, but if उसके valuations ऊपर है and there is a certain pattern that we are seeing, then despite whatever the higher growth etc the stock may see that you are anticipating, that might not end up being true, and you might end up seeing big correction in those stocks as well. So how to manage risk is something that I'll teach you through this webinar as well. So just one disclaimer that I want to put in, that whatever we are discussing, okay, this should not be considered as a recommendation, because we don't intend to recommend anything. The whole idea is to make you understand the process. Okay, so during this case, most of it we'll try to take the past example so that we comply with the SEBI norms. But the whole idea is to make you understand the process. And Vimal Prakash, Babu Raj, how did you get the RMI indicator? So, of course, our internal team has the access on TradingView, but otherwise, we don't give the access on TradingView until unless they have gone through the mentorship program. That's where they get it. But otherwise, it is only for the internal consumption. But anyways, we have given the the RMI webinar on RMI indicator on Strike, and you will see it everywhere. So you can go and subscribe to Strike, and you will be able to see this indicator as well. So Vimal Prakash, we won't be sharing the presentation, but anyways, this video will be recorded. So please go through this video once again, if at all you find any uh, difficulty in understanding. So yeah, so let me share my screen. So the first thing is that how to look for good setups in RMI. Okay, RMI, or you can say the Rohit setup. That screen we have already built it. So in that, we the things that we have is Bollinger Band. Okay, in terms of moving average, we look at 20 simple and 40 exponential. Okay. The third thing that we follow is nothing but the RMI indicator. Okay. So RMI indicator is basically very similar to MACD. The only good part of RMI is that it gives early signal. So हमने वो थोड़ा इंडिकेटर को फास्ट किया है by tweaking the parameters, जिससे कि आपको अर्ली सिग्नल्स मिले. बट एक चीज प्लीज समझिए कि अगर आप RMI को स्टैंड अलोन यूज करोगे, ओके, और उसको खाली बाय सेल पे आप ट्रेड करोगे, देन यू मे नॉट गेट अ गुड रिजल्ट, because it is a combination of these three factors. Okay, that is Bollinger Band, moving average. In moving average specifically, we are using 20 simple average and the 40 exponential average, and the last one, and the important one is RMI. Okay, so in scenarios where, say, the 20 the red say the red one is 20 simple, okay, and the green one is 40 exponential average. Okay, so कोई भी स्टॉक जब ये दोनों एवरेजेस के ऊपर ट्रेड करता है, देन ब्रॉडली द ट्रेंड is bullish and the bulls have total control over the medium to long term trend. Okay, and इसी का उल्टा है is that कि जब भी कोई स्टॉक 20 एवरेज या 40 एवरेज, ओके, उसके नीचे ट्रेड करता है, देन एक्चुअली द बेयर्स हैव अ गुड कंट्रोल. सो इन दिस केस ट्रेंड इज bearish and the bears have total control on the medium to long term trends. Okay, so trend is bearish and the bears have total control, actually total control over short to medium term trends. Okay, तो यहाँ पे बेसिकली मोमेंटम इनके पास आ जाता है. So that is why it is important to understand firstly ये सेटअप पे फॉलो कर रहा है कि नहीं, and for that actually we have given a very रेडीमेड स्क्रीन ऑफ रोज सेटअप, जहाँ पे यहाँ पे हमने ये कलर भी किया है कि यू कैन सी दैट, ये देखिए ये 20 और 40 के नीचे है, तो इट इज रेड, डाउ ट्रेंड डाउन है, खाली आरएमआई एक बाय में है. Okay, so how to interpret this is something that I'll come to in a while. Okay, but we have simply given this on all the time frames, all the important time frames like hourly, daily, weekly and monthly, so that you can quickly understand कि trend कैसा है of the medium to long term trend. So for going to this chart, you can click on any of the stock or indices. Say मैं निफ्टी 50 में करता हूँ. ओके, निफ्टी 50 में जाके अगर मैं चार्ट्स में गया, तो बाय डिफॉल्ट दिस इज व्हाट इज गोना ओपन. ओके, एंड व्हेन यू चेंज द टाइम फ्रेम्स, you will see this data also changing accordingly. Okay, now we can see that के monthly close Feb का, this is, it has come below the 20-month average for the first time after a very very long time, right? I think it was only in Feb 2022 जब ये वापस हुआ था, बट उसके बाद तुरंत ये ऊपर आके it saw some bit of whipsaw. Sorry, it was basically in June 2022 when we saw Nifty closing below the 20-month average. But apart from that, all this while there has been a green altogether. तो हम जैसा कि मैंने कहा कि हम निफ्टी का भी बात करेंगे, एंड वील टॉक अबाउट द प्रोसेस एज वेल. बट यस, ब्रॉडली, जस्ट टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड, दिस इज व्हाट दिस इज द इंडिकेटर दैट वी लुक आउट फॉर. सो बॉलिंजर बैंड के अंदर ही 20 सिंपल एवरेज आ जाता है, and apart from that, one additional moving average that we use is 40 exponential average. Okay, so this is applicable on all the time frames, and the setup will remain the same. Okay, now the other important part which I explained was to understand what is happening. Okay, ये बहुत सिंपल कॉन्सेप्ट है. अगर एवरेजेस के ऊपर है तो ब्रॉडर ट्रेंड इज बुलिश, एवरेजेस के नीचे है तो ब्रॉडर ट्रेंड इज बेरिश. यस, व्हाट कैन हैपन इज दैट कि हम प्रीएम्प्ट करेंगे कि ओके ये टर्न अराउंड होगा एंड सो ऑन, बट दिस इज व्हाट द ब्रॉडर ट्रेंड इज. ओके, एंड अगर हम खाली निफ्टी का ही देख ले, फॉर एग्जांपल निफ्टी 50, ओके, एंड यू कैन सी दैट in this entire decline, this was one place where the 40-day broke, but immediately it came on the downside. यहाँ पर भी थोड़ा ब्रेक किया, बट वापस ये नीचे आ गया. एंड इनफैक्ट आप ये हर एक डिक्लाइन में भी देखोगे तो इंटरनली 40 के नीचे ही रहा है, एंड देयर हैड बीन अ पुल बैक एंड अगेन इट वेंट डाउन. So whenever the index is trading below the 40-hour exponential average, I mean not 40-hour but any of the 40 average, so that clearly suggests that the trend is down and you need to be careful. Okay, you can see this on the daily chart as well. As I mentioned to you कि ये 40-day break करके ज़्यादा sustain नहीं कर पाया and it fell. Weekly में भी this was possibly the first time basically in Jan 2025 जब the 40 week average टूटा था, तो यहाँ पर भी थोड़े टाइम टूटा था एंड यहाँ पर टूट के इसके नीचे ही सस्टेन कर रहा था, एंड दिस इज व्हाट लेड टू अ मीनिंगफुल करेक्शन इन द निफ्टी इंडेक्स. ओके, so I hope this concept is clear. If anyone has any doubt in this concept, please ask me right away so that I can clarify it, because if this is okay, then I'll move to the valuation part. I mean, this is very simply I have put it. इसमें थोड़े और नुआंसेस है जो मैं आगे जाके कवर करूंगा, बट does anyone has any problem with this concept that I explained, which was how to find a bullish trend and how to find a bearish trend? Is there any issue with this point, or is it clear to everyone? Please if possible comment. If I see a lot of okay, then I'll move ahead. So anyone has any issue? So you did RMI indication. So Kani, your question is that did RMI give any indication? So since you are asking of yesterday, I believe you are asking for a very small time frame, and you can see that the index had been trading below the moving averages, that we follow. And so that nowhere was suggesting that there was a bullish trend. And in this first I think in the final hour of yesterday's trading session only, there was a small bearish crossover that was seen. In fact, in the morning in the decline it fell, but when it closed over here, it was very close to giving a bearish crossover. Okay, and then the decline happened and then it fell. But see, the broader idea is that if the index is trading below the averages, you need to avoid. And this same thing was happening when we were seeing a bullish trend. So say for example, the bullish trend. So see, when the bullish trend occurs, okay, and we consider it as one move till the time 40 doesn't break, you can see that 40 was holding and the index was rising higher. Over here also 40 was holding and the index was rising higher. So the bull trend will prevail as long as the 40 doesn't break on the downside decisively. But you can see that whenever the break used to happen, one or two candles after that, it used to make a comeback and there used to be a bullish crossover. So that was a sign of the bullish momentum again picking up. So in this case, I won't go into very big detail of RMI, because we have separately covered it in our previous webinar. But I am just trying to teach you what is relevant from technical and fundamental perspective when you combine both. So please try and understand this. Okay, the bottom line is that if it is above the averages, the broader trend is bullish. If it is below the averages on certain specific time frame, then the trend is bearish. Okay, that is the most simply I can put it to you. So now question is overlap. So there is a question from Sudhir. Question is, overlapping the charts is question is overlapping the charts you are sharing. Sorry, I did not get this question. So yeah, anyways, we will come back to this. So this is what is extremely important for you to understand. Okay, now when we speak about valuation, okay, so when we speak about valuation, so valuation may there are 4 to 5 valuation parameters that we show it on strike. Basically, if I go on any of the stocks, say for example trend, if I go to fundamental, there is a drop down where there are a few valuation metrics that are given: market cap to sales, PE, price to book, EV to sales, EV to EBITDA, and earnings yield. Okay, बेस्ड ऑन ये स्टॉक जिस भी सेक्टर में रहेगा, हम क्लासिफाई किए हैं कि इसको आपको कैसे इवेल्युएट करना चाहिए. आई मीन दिस इज नॉट टू से दैट आपको ये स्टॉक इसी 2 पैरामीटर पे इवेल्युएट करना चाहिए, बट दिस इज जस्ट अ रिकमेंडेशन फ्रॉम आवर साइड दैट which is a relevant valuation parameter you should see, so that you can judge the stock on the right matrix. Okay, so that is one part. Now one thing that people will be happy to know is that we have actually put almost a 20-25 year data starting from I think 2004. So if you do this valuation parameter and you do max, okay, you will be able to see the valuations of 2007-8 as well. Okay, because the reason why we wanted to introduce a little more backdated is because you will understand what kind of valuation used to happen in 2008. Okay, we already had it for index, but for stocks we had to do some work, and we have finally done it, and we have injected the entire data. So you can see the entire valuation data from 2005. Okay, and as I mentioned to you, okay, for the index, we already had it I think from 2002 or 2003. In fact, in case of Nifty, we have it all the way from 1999. Okay, so this way you will be able to see the entire valuation for the indices. and for stocks we have it somewhere from 2004. ओके, तो जैसा कि मैंने आपको बताया कि बहुत सारे स्टॉक्स के लिए हमने पैरामीटर्स डाले हैं, तो बेस्ड ऑन दैट यू कैन जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड that where is it in its broader valuation, I mean in the scheme of things of valuation. Okay, ये अपने historical data में कहाँ पर है. Now I will just brief you through few of the ratios which we have it, so that you understand कि कैसे interpret करना चाहिए. Okay, and how to think about it in valuation terms, and where is it that you would know कि ये stock cheap हो गया है, या you know yeah, or else it is at least worth looking. Okay, तो पहला है प्राइस टू अर्निंग रेशियो. ठीक है, तो प्राइस टू अर्निंग रेशियो में हम क्या देखते हैं कि बेसिकली उसका मार्केट कैप सपोजिंगली एक्स है एंड प्रॉफिट एक्स है, तो हम उसे डिवाइड करते हैं, और सिंपली पुट यू डिवाइड प्राइस बाय ईपीएस. ओके, तो अगर उसका ईपीएस एक्स है और प्राइस एक्स है, सो व्हेन यू डिवाइड यू कम टू प्राइस टू अर्निंग रेशियो. ठीक है, प्राइस टू अर्निंग रेशियो में आपको ये पता चलता है कि सिंपली पुट, अगर वो 1 रुपया कमा रहा है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अ कंपनी इज अर्निंग 1 रुपी एंड द मार्केट इज गिविंग, so what through price to earning we are trying to understand is that how much premium is the market giving to that earning. Okay, so PE, in all the valuation parameters, a lot of it comes on what is the growth that is anticipated. Okay, but I mean that is what usually people see it कि what is the forward growth, but the fact is that कि ये सारे चीजें estimate है, right? What earnings that you have today is the actual one. Okay, so honestly we don't see a lot on forward earnings, but we actually look at it कि अभी क्या चल रहा है. Okay, and अभी क्या चल रहा है उस हिसाब से ट्रेलिंग पीई क्या है. ट्रेलिंग पीई इज नथिंग बट लास्ट 4 क्वार्टर्स का आप अर्निंग्स आप देखो, एंड आई मीन ईपीएस आप देखो, एंड उसको प्राइस को ईपीएस से डिवाइड करो, सो यू विल गेट प्राइस टू अर्निंग, and that will help you to understand how much premium the market is paying for that particular earning. Okay, so अलग अलग सेक्टर्स के लिए अलग अलग पीई असाइंड है. सो दैट इज व्हाई यू कैन नॉट से कि ओके 10 के नीचे पी है तो वो चीप है, या 20 के ऊपर अगर वो है तो ओवर वैल्यूड है. इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट. एन एफएमसीजी कंपनी कैन ट्रेड एट अ पीई ऑफ 40-50, but something very stable, or say PSU stocks, they trade at a PE less than 10. doesn't mean कि वो PE 40 तक चला जाएगा, but every stock has its own range of PE that it trades in. Okay, तो the whole idea in the strike is कि हम वो स्टॉक को उसी के हिस्ट्री से कंपेयर करते हैं, सो दैट वी नो कि ये हिस्टोरिकली कितने पीई पे चला था पहले, एंड इसका एवरेज पीई क्या है. सो एवरेज पीई इज व्हेन, मतलब यू कैन से कि वो ओके वो रीजनेबल भाव पे आ गया, बट यू कैन सी दीज लाइंस, राइट. So I have just put it in PPT for you to simply understand. So let me. Sorry. So it is in my actually in the other screen. So anyways, see the whole idea is that कि जब आप ये जो ब्लू लाइन जो आपको दिख रहा है, दैट इज नथिंग बट द एवरेज पी ऑफ द हिस्टोरिकल डेटा दैट वी आर सीइंग. अगर वो हिस्टोरिकल डेटा मान लो 2012 से है, तो ये वो 12 साल का एवरेज है. ठीक है, फर्स्ट लाइन इज नथिंग बट वन स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन जिसे हम बोलते हैं. तो स्टैटिस्टिकली, ठीक है, ये माना गया है कि आई थिंक आई डोंट रिमेंबर द वैल्यू फॉर द 1 HD. I think it is said that 66% of the time it remains in 1 HD, but almost 90 to 95% of the time stock 2 HD के ऊपर नहीं जाता है. Now 2 HD क्या है, is basically the variation from the average. सो मान लो कि इसे इसे हम ऐसे भी बता सकते हैं कि दिस इज बेसिकली अ बॉलिंजर बैंड फॉर द फंडामेंटल वैल्यूएशन. सो बॉलिंजर बैंड का कॉन्सेप्ट ही ये है, राइट, कि आप टू स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन आप लगाते हो. तो टू स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन आपको ये बताता है कि अपर रेंज क्या होगा, विच इज दिस, एंड लोअर रेंज क्या होगा. अगर ये अपर और लोअर रेंज के आसपास आता है तो देर इज अ चांस ऑफ अ बाउंस बैक, क्योंकि द होल आइडिया इज दैट इट कुड बी ओवरडन. मतलब अगर मान लो कि अगर वैल्यूएशन है ये एकदम ऊपर आ जाता है, मतलब मार्केट इसको बहुत ज्यादा प्रीमियम दे रहा है एज कंपेयर टू इट्स एवरेज जो मार्केट उसको पहले देता था, राइट. सिमिलरली अगर ये नीचे के साइड आ जाता है और ये एकदम नीचे आ जाता है तो इट इज लाइक देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ पेसिमिज्म फॉर द स्टॉक. मे बी स्टॉक, आई मीन मार्केट इज एंटिसिपेटिंग कि इसमें कुछ ग्रोथ नहीं रहेगा एक्सेट्रा, एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट गोज बिलो -2 SD. बट आप एक चीज हमेशा याद रखिए, सूनर और लेटर हमेशा मार्केट में मीन रिवर्जन होता है. वो मीन रिवर्जन होने के लिए शायद 6 महीना लग सकता है, 1 साल लग सकता है, 2 साल लग सकता है, बट इवेंचुअली मीन रिवर्जन हैपेंस. एंड मार्केट हैज दिस टेंडेंसी, जैसा मैंने स्टार्ट में भी बोला, कि टू मूव फ्रॉम वन एक्सट्रीम टू द अदर एक्सट्रीम. ओके, so that is what we have to spot it through the valuation, and we have made it very simple for you. तो हमने ये लाइंस ही ड्रॉ कर दी है कि 1 HD क्या है, 2 HD क्या है. सो एज यू विल सी इन द चार्ट, ओके, मैं ये सब कुछ मैं हटा देता हूँ और मैं एक एक करके मैं क्लिक करता हूँ. नाउ दिस इज एवरेज विच इज द ब्लू लाइन, ठीक है. ये +1 HD है विच इज द रेड लाइन, द लाइट रेड लाइन. ओके, द होल आइडिया फॉर कलरिंग इट वाज आल्सो टू टेल यू के कितना कॉशियस या बुलिश होना चाहिए. सो दिस इज लाइट रेड, मतलब थोड़ा आपको कॉशियस होना चाहिए क्योंकि ये अपने एवरेज से 1 HD ऊपर है. ओके, द डार्क रेड लाइन इज नथिंग बट +2 HD. ओके, light green line is nothing but -1 SD, which suggests that there is some undervaluation. So sorry, it is over here कि ये अपने एवरेज से कम है. तो मान लो कि अगर मार्केट उसको 10 का पीई देता था तो मान लो अभी वो 8 के पीई पे है, तो देयर इज अ चांस ऑफ दैट मीन रिवर्जन दैट कैन हैपन व्हिच कैन हेल्प यू मेक मनी. ओके, so this, as I'm telling you, this is only for valuation at this point of time. Okay, then we will combine technical and fundamental both together. So the last line is nothing but -2 SD. So यहाँ पे क्या है, -3 SD भी रखते हैं, बट आई मीन -3 SD आने के लिए इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. आई मीन वो बहुत रेयरली आता है, एंड जब हम +3 HD या -3 SD रख रहे थे तो वो चार्ट बहुत डिस्टॉर्ट हो रहा था. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव नॉट केप्ट इट, because 90 to 95% of the price action happens within minus and +2 SD only. So this we thought was fair enough, and it gives you a fair idea about where the valuation is. Okay, सो जैसा कि मैंने आपको कहा कि डिफरेंट कंपनीज के लिए हमने यहाँ पे पैरामीटर्स दिए हैं बेस्ड ऑन द इंडस्ट्री दैट दे ऑपरेट इन. अगर कोई कैपेक्स हैवी है जिसे बहुत प्लांट और वो सब लगाना पड़ता है, तो यू विल सी दैट वी विल गिव समथिंग लाइक EV to EBITDA एंड प्राइस टू बुक वैल्यू, बिकॉज द होल आइडिया इज दैट कि अगर आपको हैवी प्लांट लगाना है, आई मीन आपको बहुत बड़ा प्लांट लगाना है, तो आपको खर्चा करना पड़ेगा. आपको खर्चा करना पड़ेगा तो आपको डेट करना पड़ेगा. आप डेट करोगे तो आपको इंटरेस्ट लगेगा. इंटरेस्ट लगेगा तो प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी ऑप्टिकली लो लगेगा. ओके, क्योंकि उसमें डेप्रिसिएशन, इंटरेस्ट, वो सब कुछ आ जाएगा, एंड दैट में नॉट गिव यू अ ट्रू पिक्चर. सो इन दिस केस EV to EBITDA will give you a true picture. Okay, so that is why EV to EBITDA is there. Then price to book value is there. Price to book इसीलिए क्योंकि उनके पास हार्ड एसेट्स एक्चुअली अपने बुक्स में है, so you can value them based on the assets as well. and इसको आप ये पॉपअप के लिए करोगे तो you will get the entire data. Okay, like you can see over here. एंड EV to EBITDA थोड़ा आपको फ्लक्चुएशन भी दिखेगा, बिकॉज इन अ सिक्लिकल इंडस्ट्री इट कैन हैपन कि EBITDA पूरा कट हो जाए, तो आपको ऑप्टिकली वो रेशियो बहुत हाई लगने लगेगा, and these all things can happen. So that is why it is important to see it on other parameters as well, what is happening. Okay, so yes, सो दिस इज देयर. सो दैट वे वी हैव प्राइस टू बुक वैल्यू, जिससे कि आपको ये पता चलता है कि कंपनी के पास हार्ड असेट्स कितने हैं, एंड अगर कल को जाके कंपनी बैंकरप्ट भी होता है तो उसका एक्चुअल वैल्यू कितना है, बेस्ड ऑन द एसेट्स दैट इट होल्ड्स. सो दैट इज वन. देन द अदर थिंग इज मार्केट कैप टू सेल्स. अभी बहुत सारे केस में क्या होता है कि जब प्राइसिंग प्रेशर होता है, जैसे कि से फॉर एग्जांपल समथिंग लाइक फार्मा. ठीक है, फार्मा में अगर प्राइसिंग प्रेशर आता है तो आपको ईवी, आई मीन आपका एबिटा और ये सब एकदम कम हो जाता है. बट जैसा कि मैंने आपको बताया था स्टार्टिंग में, ये सारी चीजें सेल्फ करेक्टिंग चीजें हैं. जैसे कि अगर प्राइजेस लोग बहुत कम कर देते हैं तो एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम इट बिकम्स अनवाइबल फॉर अदर प्लेयर्स टू सप्लाई एट द सेम रेट, बिकॉज दे विल स्टार्ट मेकिंग लॉसेस. अगर उन लोग लॉसेस स्टार्ट करेंगे बनाना, तो उतना सप्लाई मार्केट से कम हो जाता है. अगर उतना सप्लाई मार्केट से कम हो जाता है, देन बेसिकली मान लो कि पहले अगर सप्लाई 20 का था, ओके, और डिमांड 20 का है, सो इट इज इक्वल. बाद में लोग और कंपटीशन में आते हैं एंड वो सप्लाई 30 होता है बट डिमांड 20 ही है, राइट. बट अभी क्या होता है कि बिकॉज वो इनएफिशिएंसी मार्केट में आ गया है एंड पीपल आर कटिंग द प्राइस एंड दे आर गिविंग इट, एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम इट विल बिकम अनवाइबल. तो बहुत सारे लोग पुल आउट करेंगे मार्केट से स्टॉक, बिकॉज अगर वो बेचेंगे तो उस पर लॉस होगा, राइट. तो वो सप्लाई अब 30 के बदले 15 हो गया एंड डिमांड तो अभी भी 20 है, तो देन द प्राइसेस विल शूट अप, राइट. सो इन दिस केस व्हाट विल हैपन इज दैट योर प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी विल स्विंग लाइक दैट, but your sales will probably remain steady or so on, and that is why we sort of value pharma stocks based on that, because उनका प्राइसिंग इज सिक्लिकल, बट यू नीड टू सी कि उन लोग कितना बेच पा रहे हैं, बिकॉज जब अच्छा टाइम रहेगा तब उन लोग बहुत अच्छा प्रॉफिट कमाएंगे, जब खराब टाइम रहेगा तब उनका प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी कम होगा. बट आप नोटिस करोगे कि फार्मा एक सर्टेन मल्टीपल पे ट्रेड करता है. मान लो कि 3 to 4 टाइम्स इज अ रीजनेबल मार्केट कैप टू सेल्स to give it to a pharma company. So when that multiple goes to 10, you say that okay, there is a huge valuation that is now given to them, and it and you are not in that safe zone. But at the same time जब market cap to sales 1 2 या ऐसे किधर आ जाता है, then you know कि अभी इनका शायद टाइम खराब चल रहा है, and which is leading to such low valuations. But एज आई मेंशन टू यू कि ये सारे सेल्फ करेक्टिंग मैकेनिज्म है, राइट. अगर वो लॉस कर रहे हैं तो देयर इज अ गुड चांस दैट अदर पीपल वुड आल्सो बी मेकिंग लॉसेस, and due to which the prices can come back. Now the whole thing over here is that कि आपको ये कंपनी स्पेसिफिक में भी देखना है कि उन लोग में कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है जिसके वजह से हो रहा है, ओके. सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड ऑल द फैक्टर्स कि अगर लो वैल्यूएशन दे रहा है मार्केट तो वो क्यों दे रहा है, एंड फॉर दैट यू विल हैव टू डीप डाइव अ बिट, ओके. बट historically you will see that market cap to sales moving in a range, and that will give you a fair idea कि मार्केट उन्हें कितना वैल्यूएशन दे रहा है. एंड देन यू हैव ईवी टू एबिटा. तो जैसे मैंने बोला कि कोई कंपनीज रहते हैं जो जिसे जिनके पास हार्ड एसेट्स रहता है और जिन्हें बहुत सारा डेट बनाना लेना पड़ता है टू मेक द फैक्ट्रीज. सो फॉर देयर द प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी विल बी अ क्वेश्चन मार्क, because it will have a lot of depreciation and all. So in that case it makes sense to see EV to EBITDA and value it based on EV to EBITDA. So say for something like a Bharti Airtel. So Bharti Airtel में अगर आप देखोगे वो बहुत सारे टावर्स वगैरह में अपफ्रंट इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, जिसको बाद में उन लोग डेप्रिसिएशन से उन लोग चार्ज बैक करते हैं, राइट. सो नाउ इफ यू सी समथिंग लाइक भारती एयरटेल, इट मेक्स एन एबिटा ऑफ say for 2024, okay, 78,000 crore. So this is the actual money that they are earning, okay. उसमें उनका इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट या फाइनेंस कॉस्ट जा रहा है 22,000 करोड़ फॉर एग्जाम्पल, नॉट एग्जाम्पल बट दिस इज द एक्चुअल फिगर. सो मान लो कि वो 56,000 अप्रॉक्स उसे पैसा वो बना रहा है, राइट. अभी डेप्रिसिएशन इज समथिंग वो उसने एक्चुअली अपफ्रंट पैसा भर दिया है फॉर दोज इन्वेस्टमेंट, ओके. अब वो खाली थोड़ा थोड़ा करके वो चार्ज बैक कर रहा है. तो व्हेन यू सी द कैश फ्लो, this becomes an extremely important parameter to see, the cash flow is an extremely important parameter to see how much money they are making, right. Because उनके अदर इनकम से पैसा आ रहा है, ये वो सब आ रहा है, and this will tell you whether the business is making money or no. Okay, and you can see that all this while, what was happening was that, Bharti even went into loss in 2021 and so on. यहाँ पे profitability भी एकदम कम था, but you can see that the company was investing a lot in towers and so on, and that is why depreciation के वजह से optically वो कम दिख रहा था. But when you see it in terms of EV to EBITDA, okay, you can see that it had gone down a lot. So okay, this was 2007 and so, where crazy valuations were given to the stocks. But if I do this 10 years, so you can see that EBITDA had gone down a lot in 2016 जब वो Jio आ रहा था. So Bharti was making money, but despite that, market thrashed it, and they used to still generate a healthy cash flow. And like I mentioned to you, कि मार्केट हमेशा एक एक्सट्रीम से दूसरे एक्सट्रीम पे लेके जाएगा. इट माइट टेक few months or maybe few years, but that will happen. So the whole idea is to spot it at lower levels and ride through the entire journey till the time it becomes or it comes to an overvaluation zone. Okay, so for that, this is the process that we are going to follow. Okay, so I think broadly I have covered the valuation parameters. Okay, everything that you need to know. Now the whole idea is that कि जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया कि कोई भी स्टॉक. So wait, I'll just pause over here and I'll see if there are any questions that are there. Nifty valuation as of now, yesterday, Sahil, I mean, it is, I think, trading at a 19 PE ratio. You can check the entire chart on Strike. You'll get the entire data. I don't want to waste time on that. Sahil, is there a scanner to identify? So as of now, Sahil, I mean, we have repeated this in many of the webinars. Right now, the entire focus is on bringing the system down to 1 minute delayed data. We actually have this prepared. Okay, I mean, if you see the scanners, we have this prepared. For example, the valuation scanner, sorry, the advanced valuation scanner. तो यहाँ पे ये आपको बताएगा कि -1 HD 2 HD पे है. बट द ओनली प्रॉब्लम इज दैट इसमें थोड़े बग्स है. एंड राइट नाउ वी आर ट्राइंग टू ब्रिंग द सिस्टम टाइम डाउन टू 1 minute delayed डेटा. ओके, जब हम वो कर रहे हैं, द एंटायर फोकस इज देयर. अगर हम ये लॉन्च कर दिया और इसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ गया, देन वी वोंट हैव द बैंडविड्थ टू एक्चुअली करेक्ट इट. एंड इफ इट ब्रेक्स आवर सिस्टम इन सम वे, then it will become a huge problem for us. So please wait for a while. We are hopeful that maybe by March end or by April mid, we should be able to get the system time down to 1 minute delayed data. And once that is done, we promise you to roll out all the exciting scanners that we have made, including the valuation scanner. Okay, so yes, but as of now, the only thing is that you will have to look at it manually, and trust me, it won't take a lot of time. It might take some time, but it won't take a lot of time. It is extremely easy because we have made the screens extremely easy for you. तो मान लो कि आप यहाँ पे चार्ट गए, आपने स्ट्राइक वैल्यूएशन सेटअप किया. स्ट्राइक वैल्यूएशन सेटअप में आपको ये RMI दिख गया और वैल्यूएशन दिख गया. ऑल यू हैव टू जस्ट डू इज दैट इनफैक्ट हमने ये सेटअप भी आपको पूरा करके दे दिया है. हम खाली हाइड कर रहे हैं. बट इफ यू वांट दैट, यू जस्ट हैव टू क्लिक दिस अनहाइड बटन and just start analyzing what is happening. Okay, you have different time frames over here: 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year. You can simply look at it, simply look at what's the valuation, and you will be able to figure out it yourself, what is happening in the stock and what actions you need to take. Okay, so yes, so now coming back to the method. See, the thing is that जस्ट लाइक हम RSI में भी बोलते हैं या कोई भी टेक्निकल इंडिकेटर्स में बोलते हैं कि कोई चीज अगर ऊपर है डजंट मीन कि कल जाके वो गिर जाएगा, राइट? इट कैन रिमेन ओवर वैल्यूड फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम, एंड मार्केट कैन बी इररेशनल फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, एंड इट कैन रिमेन इररेशनल टिल यू सॉल्व इट. ओके, so this will happen, and it can happen कि वो ओवर वैल्यूएशन हो गया है, एंड you think that ये ओवर वैल्यूएशन हो गया, ये तो गिरना ही चाहिए, कल जाके शॉर्ट करो, and it will keep rising higher, and until the point where you give up and you will be lost, and and then only the stock will fall. I mean, this happens to almost everyone in the market. Okay, so that's where if you have a process of entry and exit, it will surely make your life extremely easy. Okay, so इसे एंट्री और आई मीन आपको चाहे वो ओवर वैल्यूएशन या अंडर वैल्यूएशन हो, आप उससे कैसे बच सकते हो? सो व्हेन यू कंबाइन आरएमआई प्लस वैल्यूएशन, ओके, अगर आपको बाय करना है, ठीक है, अगर आपको बाय करना है तो आपको ये चीज देखना चाहिए कि जो भी स्पेसिफिक पैरामीटर पे आप देख रहे हो जो वो स्टॉक के लिए रेलेवेंट है, ठीक है, वो प्रेफरेबली बिलो एवरेज से बिलो एवरेज होना चाहिए, ठीक है। फिर वो अगर वो -1 HD और 2 HD के आसपास है देन इवन बेटर। ओके, तो जब वो होता है तो यू नो कि मार्केट इज वैल्यूइंग इट वेरी लो, सो एनी पॉजिटिव सरप्राइज इन द स्टॉक एंड यू विल सी इट फ्लाइंग। ओके, the second thing is to watch out for the setup on RMI and whether it is holding above the averages or no, and that's where your position sizing will come into play. So say for example, there was this stock ITC. I'm very sure you might have heard of all the memes if you have come after 2020 ke कब इसका खून खोलेगा, blah blah blah. I mean, there were so many memes because market used to run and it used to literally do nothing, and you can see that it remained in this undervalued zone from uh, March to Feb. Okay, now this, if I see it in terms of strike valuation setup, okay, इसको मैं कैंडल कर देता हूँ. So you will see that what had happened was that based on the PE of the maximum PE, okay, it had gone down to the undervaluation zone. Okay, and from there it started to pick up, but it was still below the averages at this point of time. It was just hovering around those. यहाँ पे थोड़ा break हुआ but again pullback आया, but you can see that the bullish crossover was given on this candle only. So थोड़े time the stock went sideways, but eventually the valuation was correcting and वो थोड़ा बहुत अपने oversold से ऊपर आ रहा था. But when this breakout happened somewhere around this part, okay, that's where a combination of undervaluation, then a bullish momentum in the monthly chart, and the breakout, that led to a very big move. In fact, March 2022 se leke March 2023 market struggled and many stocks saw big correction, but this was one of the stock that kept rising higher, and matlab, despite all the odds it kept rising higher, and from 250 it all the went, I mean, it went all the way to 500. So 100% move in a large cap stock is a big thing. Okay, so this will definitely help you to time it. अब जैसे कि मैंने आपको बोला कि आपको कब बॉदर करना है, या तो वो एक अपने दूसरे एक्सट्रीम पे आ जाए या तो फिर उसके एवरेजेस होते हैं, आई मीन ब्रेक होते हैं. सो दैट्स वेयर यू नीड टू टेक सम नोट ऑफ इट. ओके, सो जब आप so then so when is it that you should look to book out or you need to look to sell, is that when the stock has gone past the 2 SD, okay, or the averages are breaking. So see, agar ye 2 SD ke पार गया है then it is a great point of bother. Okay, सो इसका मतलब ये है कि वो दूसरे एक्सट्रीम तक गया ही नहीं, एंड दैट विल इंडिकेट कि अभी भी इसमें स्कोप है. बट you also need to understand that if important averages break, so for us, okay, see, for short term 40-day exponential average is important. Okay, for short term मतलब for positional traders and investors. एंड ये मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि ये एक्चुअली ट्रेडर्स के लिए भी इंपॉर्टेंट है, एंड आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू हाउ. ओके, जस्ट बेयर विथ मी फॉर 2 minutes. So for So I'm not writing short term, but positional traders or investors, it is either 40-day exponential or 20 week. Okay, अगर ये break होता है, then you have to move out. If you are a bit medium termish, actually medium to long term, I would say, for you it is 20 week or 40 week, based on your risk appetite and how much you want to hold. Exponential average. Okay, and for long term, it is the 20 month average. अगर 20 month टूट गया, मतलब बॉस यू नीड टू बी केयरफुल, बिकॉज जब तक वो 20 month के ऊपर है तब तक वो ब्रॉडर बुल रन में, बट जब वो 20 month के नीचे आता है, दैट टाइम यू नीड टू बी केयरफुल, बिकॉज इफ इट इज ओवर वैल्यूड एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, इट कैन स्टार्ट हॉन्टिंग यू. ओके, so in this case, if the 40 exponential break on the downside, then you need to be careful and you need to be open for a meaningful correction that can come by, and that would be due to technical factors. Okay, but now I'll show you. Okay, I think even when I had done previous webinars, all this talk were not correcting at all. Okay, and in fact they were rising higher like no tomorrow, जैसे खाली इनके ही प्रोडक्ट्स मिलने वाले. बट सी व्हाट हैड हैपेंड वाज दैट व्हेन यू सी कमिंस इंडिया, एंड कमिंस इंडिया वाज अ क्लासिक केस जहां पे आप कोई भी पैरामीटर उठा लो. ओके, एंड लेट मी पुट द 20 month एवरेज. सो यू कैन सी दैट 20 month एवरेज ये यहाँ पर से क्रॉस हुआ 2020 में, फिर कभी टूटा ही नहीं. नाउ इट इज ऑन द वर्ज ऑफ डूइंग दैट, एंड दिस इज हैपनिंग व्हेन यू सॉ एन ओवर वैल्यूएशन. ओके, ये हिस्टोरिकली कभी ऐसा वैल्यूएशंस पे ट्रेड नहीं किया, एंड नाउ इट इज कूलिंग ऑफ. ओके, एंड दिस, लाइक आई वाज मेंशनिंग टू यू, ऑन एवरी पैरामीटर इट वाज ओवर वैल्यू. Okay, at this point of time, the only thing was that it was not breaking down. And now when you see the entire rise from 2020, okay, and you would notice that it was very nicely following the 40 week exponential average. You can see that हर बार वो 40 week exponential पे आता था, and it used to rise higher. It is only at this point when the 40 week broke on the downside. So overvaluation plus 40 week. So if you are a positional trader, I mean, not positional, but a medium termish kind of guy, and the 40 week is breaking, that is a big red flag, along with your overvaluation. Now it is coming to a point where probably even the long term guy needs to take care. Okay, you can see over here that it is coming over here, and you need to be careful. Now I know you would say that अरे ये तो ऊपर से 20% 30% करेक्ट हुआ, अब क्या बेचने का. Okay, but I will tell you, when overvaluation happens, I mean, you can see a meaningful decline, and you would see in Dixon, say for example. Okay, I think it was on one of the so it was market cap to sales when it was over here. Okay, let me just put those criteria over here. Okay, so it was at this point जब डिक्सन ने ये 20 month ब्रेक किया था, एंड ऑलरेडी वो वैल्यूएशन से करेक्ट हो रहा था. तो एज आई टोल्ड यू, जब ये 20 वीक ही ब्रेक होता है, दैट इज योर फर्स्ट अलार्म साइंस. ओके, एंड देन व्हेन द 40 ब्रेक्स, आई मीन it is sort of gone. So you would see that over here the 20 week was broken. Okay, the low was also broken, and from there eventually the stock almost corrected 30-40% or so. So wait, let me, yeah, so this was the point, and you can see that there was almost a 34-35% kind of correction that the stock saw. And I am telling you with this with an experience के ये जब averages break होता है ना, तब many people turn blind and say कि अरे ये इतना तो correct हो गया और कितना correct होगा. I remember for Amazon, I think अभी ये स्प्लिट होने के बाद आई डोंट नो द लेवल, but it was somewhere around this point. When I had observed, and I think I had made one video on India charts as well about mentioning about this. तो आप देखोगे कि ये 2009 से इट वाज द फर्स्ट टाइम व्हेन इट वाज ब्रेकिंग डाउन, ओके, और ये 180 वाला 134 हुआ था, एंड इट हैड ऑलमोस्ट करेक्टेड से 20% और सो, एंड पीपल सेड कि अरे अभी क्या बोल रहे हो, बट देन you would notice that the stock went down from there only, okay, from 134 it corrected another 30-40%, okay, and it almost took a year or two to come back to that price, okay. So imagine going through this anxiety over here, and getting no return for 1 year. So this is what had happened. So it is very important to understand and understand the process. I mean, one classic case was IndusInd Bank. Even this had, I had actually, while I was working in a wealth management firm, I had even highlighted this, and this was happening in many stocks around that time, especially in the private sector bank, because that was the poster boy, in this entire run. So you could see that. Wait. So you could see that IndusInd Bank, it had crossed this 40-month average in I think 2009, and it was staying about it for a very very long time. But after that, it did a consolidation. It was a sideways consolidation, and eventually it broke down. And from there, from 1395, it went all the way down to 235. Okay, so it was a massive cut. Okay, many people who might have invested over here is still not making money. So it is even after 5 years they are not making money in this case. And this is not just that, but this is happening with many stocks. So ITC was one of them. It used to hold about the 40-month average for a very very long time, and then when it broke down, so 40 month agar toota na, matlab you have to understand that a very very big trend is breaking on the downside, and you need to be careful. And I don't want to scare anyone, but so this is what Asian Paint was. Okay, from 40 month, it used to hold, and then finally around this time, it had started to test 40-month more often. Okay, and it was when it broke over here. So 2800, and it has gone to 2100. But just understand one thing, that a very big up move has possibly ended over here, and that too with a very big distribution pattern that it has formed. Okay, you call it double top, triple top, triangle, symmetrical triangle breakdown, and so on. But yes, and now if I see the valuation, okay, so then I have to see whether has it come down to a respectable level, or is it that we are seeing undervaluation. So if I do the max chart, so if I see over here, it has just come back to the average. But remember that market always usually move from one extreme to the other extreme, right? You see it on PE, it has come back to the average, but it is at 50 PE right now. I mean, days prior to 2016, it used to trade around 20, 30, 40 times, and so on. So yes, this is where this screen will help you a lot in identifying where is it that big trend shifts are happening. Okay, and you will have to do a little bit of work to understand where are we in the broader scheme of things, and where is it that you need to take a bet on. Okay, now see, all this time I told you was about sell, and how many of the stocks are at where extreme overvaluation zone, which are now getting derated. Okay, now I'll tell you many other stocks where the valuations are very either reasonable, or they are to a point where you can say that okay, there can be some valuation comfort. Or sometimes you will just see those stocks being range bound. Now see, one stock I know, everyone might hate, But say Rallis India, okay, Rallis India ka if I do max, sorry, yeah, so if I do max and it was which, I think, yeah. If I see its 10-year data, so in 2003 or four, I mean there was some discrepancy that was there. I mean not discrepancy, but the profits and all shot up very much, and that's why we saw big EV to EBITDA fall. But if you see in the last 10 years, you can see that how beautiful it is following this range. So whenever it goes above the 2 hd, I mean from there we need to probably keep a bit of a caution. But at the same time, when it comes down, okay, eventually the valuations has improved and it has moved higher. So let us see it on the chart. So this was the case over here, as you would see, somewhere over here. So somewhere around this part. So you can see that you might end up, so this happens in the stocks जहाँ पे कुछ growth नहीं है, so कब वो नीचे में extreme में आ जाता है, then it pops up. And so this way, I mean you have to identify the behavior. Now there was another stock like Samvardhana Motherson, okay, for some reason I don't know why, but it was neglected a lot. And So if I do its max EV to EBITDA, so in 2020, it had hit an EV to EBITDA of 7. In fact, yeah, around 7 or so. Okay, and you can see that the range is getting followed beautifully over here. Okay, despite meaningful earning growth and everything, I mean this has still gone down. So right now, everyone knows that because of tariff, etc., you're seeing the skepticism among the market. But at this point of time, all you know is that the setup is in I mean the valuations are in favor of you. But now when we look at the chart, the issue is that, so if I do this setup, so see what is happening over here is that 40-month is has broken on the downside. Okay, in fact this is also in sell. So what we are seeing right now is an undervaluation in the stock, but the technicals are still not favoring it. Okay, so it can so happen that if the company ends up growing, then maybe you will see some consolidation over here. In this case, what it might happen is that it will start eventually improving. And your next point would possibly be when you see a setup like this. Okay, and where when it starts going up, so your setup will be when the breakout occurs, technically there is momentum and the valuation starts improving. Okay, so that would be then the point to think that, okay, can we get that next bigger move on the upside, right? So what you need to do and what you need to figure out is that find the stocks that are trading below the average. Okay, that are trading below the average. So in most of the cases, if you see the weekly and the monthly charts, they might not be good. In fact, if you want to slightly fine tune your entry, then what you can do is that look out for a weekly chart. Okay, look out for this setup and wait for the stock to get above the averages. Okay, so when you, so say, I mean this is just as an example. Okay, please don't take it as a recommendation, but the whole idea would be that, okay, now you know that the valuations are cheap in this case. Okay, so what you got to do is that wait for it to turn around. When it turns around, you will see the RMI also turning around. Okay, so when the RMI turns around, say you would take 20 or 30% of your position. Okay, the rest of the positions will be taken, in fact, say you will take a 40-50% because even the valuations are very cheap, right? The next entire tranche you will put it when the valuation starts picking up. I mean, the momentum starts picking up, which means that breaking above this averages. So once the breakout above this averages happen, you can see a big up move, like you saw it over here. Say for example this case. Okay, it went above the 40 week average, which was say somewhere around 80. From 80 you got to move all the way till 214, right? And इसमें ये सब whipsaw किया, but please understand that you are using weekly only for the entry. Okay, जब आपको पोजीशन साइजिंग करना है, then you have to I mean, moving averages and RMI signal also you can follow, but RMI is not a deal breaker. But when the averages break on the downside, which is this, as I mentioned to you. So, a 40-day exponential break or 20-week breaks on the downside, then you need to be careful. That is if you are a positional trader, which means say 2 to 3 months. But if you're a medium-term investor, breaking 40 is a big red flag. Okay, because then it means that there can be more pain ahead, and which we are clearly seeing in the stock. So as I mentioned to you, the next signal would be then that the stock crossing above the averages. Now you would say कि अरे इतना 140 150 के लिए कौन रुकेगा, and so on. So that's where what you're doing is that when this turns around, so this might turn around, especially when it might be 125 130. So you're already keeping a meaningful position based on the valuation and momentum. All you're doing is that you're adding up when the averages break on the upside. That is because it can also happen that ye averages ko lag ke keep going down, because say Trump does some drastic things and their earnings get cut and so on, right? So that is why when you are buying it, then again you will have to obviously position size it. And for that, we had made a detailed video of how to use RMI. We have RMI scanners as well. So people who who are asking for this valuation and so on, you can do one thing, that say which are the stocks. So let me take all Nifty stocks. Okay, so let me take all Nifty stocks, and here what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to put a filter of a new buy. So these are the stocks where new buys are coming. Okay, so you can do the reverse thing. You can make a watch list of this. Okay, आपने watch list बना दिया, then you start seeing कि कौन से stocks के valuation parameter favorable है, right? And you can work out the other way around till the time we don't have this advanced valuation scanner going live. So you can do it this way, but trust me, when you do this, you will avoid all the pitfalls. Now I will give you one more example. I mean, I know most of the people are very gung-ho about this stock, say persistent system. I mean, all this while it was not giving red flag because it kept rising higher. Okay, it kept rising higher without any issues. So say for example, if you, so in fact when I do the weekly chart, okay, and then if I put the averages over here, so let me make it and modify it to 40. Okay, and I'll okay, so you can see over here that all this while valuations have gone to even prior extremes of 2022 high को भी exceed कर दिया, and many people are extremely bullish on this. Whatever I have heard and seen and known, but now, and in fact, it is not just based on PE, but market cap to sales, but be it PE, EV to sales, EV to EBITDA. You see on any of the parameter, in on all the parameters, it is at an extreme. Okay, and you can see that the 40 week has been holding out very well over here. There was some break when it has gone up, but now it is once again threatening to break on the downside. Okay, and the other red flag is that Nifty IT. Nifty IT, if you see the valuation, okay, for PE, it has hit this extreme level even in 2024, and from there it has now started to correct. In fact, if you see the IT setup on the weekly chart, that is not good either. I mean, it was holding over the 40 week. Over here there was small break, but it has again gone up. And now, many of the people were in hope that this is a cup and handle pattern breakout. Now the retest is happening and it will again go up. But when you're seeing a very high valuation in the stocks, and you check any of the component within the IT stocks, most of them have meaningful overvaluation, right? And when these things are happening, in fact, I think 20-month average, okay, it is now just coming to the 20-month average, but you're seeing a sell signal over here. So if the 20-month average is broken on the downside, which, I mean, of course, now you'll have to monitor next month, but all these are signs of a red flag. Okay, and basically this breakout was nothing but possibly a false breakout on the upside. And in fact, this entire pattern is like a broadening triangle that we see it in Elliott wave. An entire thing was corrective. I mean, so okay, this is on the Elliott wave part, so we need to ignore it. But yes, you can see this. Now within the components, you are seeing a lot of. I mean, it was persistent, and the other one was Coforge. Okay, this AI thing has led to a very sharp re-rating in these stocks. But over here as well, you can see that there is overvaluation. So I think Coforge is still in a slightly better situation than persistent system, because I think if we see the, so yeah, it has also now come back to the 40-month and it has slightly broken that. So you need to watch out for, because it is still at a higher level, right? It is still at a higher level of, I mean, basically, around the overvalued part. And even last time when you saw that in 2021, it led to almost a 30-40% kind of decline, right? So over here as well, many would hope that this is a cup and handle pattern breakout. Now it is retesting and so on. But and it can so happen that you might end up seeing some pullback. But if this RMI doesn't get into bullish mode, or it does not start trading above the averages, it is very much possible that you might end up seeing something like this, and this will go from one extreme to the other extreme eventually, right? So it can be a slow grind and a painful corrective structure, but this is what can happen, especially if this AI bubble or whatever it tricks, and you end up seeing derating in the stock. So that is broadly the setup that I wanted to discuss. I mean, now if there are any questions, then I'm happy to address. And yeah, so if there are any questions now, you can shoot, and I'll try to explain you in as easy language as I can. So there is a question from student. What is the reason I need to pay so much for money? Won't I get info? So student, you can go and you can try the broker platform. You will see, firstly, you won't see RMI in all the broking platform, because that is a proprietary indicator. And the other thing is that you won't see it in such an easy format, where you will be able to figure out within you can figure out within the minute when you see the stock. Okay, so and I don't think that you are paying a big money, because it is I think 650 a month, and that too with this scheme which is there right now. So all the people who have just joined, I mean, after 10 minutes of the webinar when I had started. So Strike is running right now a scheme, and this is especially for the people who are attending the webinar. Okay, so we are giving away 1 year subscription at 4,300, which I think translates into 350 rupees or so, and that too, that rate is including GST. So I don't think that is a very big money that you're paying, and I'm sure you will find a good value for that. So we have just posted the link over here in the comment, and you can avail it by paying right now. And once you pay us, please let us know. I mean, because this is a very discounted rate. So so when you pay us, we will put the subscription, and I mean, we will activate your subscription and you will be able to see it right away. Student, it is not okay. I mean, see, I am not putting gun on your head and telling you to buy it, but I think that the things that we are giving it is quite reasonable, and I'm very sure you will find value to this. um, can this be added to the subscription? Peanut, please, try connecting with our sales team. All you need to do is that you just need to wait. I'll just show you what to do. All you need to do is that go to Strike, go to Help button, okay, raise a ticket, and mention it that it is subscription related. Okay, subscription related, and you can put your question over here. Someone from our team will call you, and probably you can get it. And in fact, our team member are also there in this webinar, so they just mentioned that yes, you can avail the offer. So please, Peanut Tucker, you just have a word. I mean, you raise the ticket, and someone from our team will call back. So right now, basically, we are running an offer at 4,200 for a month. Sorry, for 1 year, and 6 month is 2,500, and this all rate is including GST. So you can avail the offer right now. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions related to what we have discussed so far? If there is anything, I am happy to clarify it. So can you explain how to scan the stocks? So some so yeah, I mean, Samir's question is how to find overvaluation at this point. So Samir, see, as of now, as I told you, we don't uh, have this scanner live right now. But what you can certainly do is that you can do the reverse thing. Try to find the stocks where you are seeing RMI sell that is happening, okay, on a weekly or a monthly chart. Say for example, I have selected all the stocks, so now I'm doing new sell on the monthly chart, monthly stocks. Okay, now say for example, ADF food is a good one. uh, so now when I see the valuation chart of this, and if I'm seeing a max chart, so you can see over here that okay, ADF food, uh, let me do this, and let me so yes, see, basically, the stock has been rising higher. Okay, or so this is, say, a broader range, and then you can get a little more into details as to, say for example, this is the chart, then this is the monthly trend line which it is on. Right now it is at the monthly trend line, the sell figure is gonna come, and you're seeing valuation at higher levels. So say if at all you have ADF food, then you might want to look into this. You might want to look at your allocation, whether you want to trim down and lighten your weight, because there is a risk of a valuation derating that can come by. Right. So so right now, this is probably one of the way that in which you can see, like, say, Affle India is the one that is giving a sell crossover this week. So if I remove this, then yes, I mean, this is giving a sell crossover. So then I would see that whether Affle India has overvaluation in it or no. So if I see the chart, so okay, Affle India doesn't has much history, but it is down. So basically, see, when valuations are not that huge, I mean, especially compared to its history, so you can also, of course, evaluate in actual terms as well. So for a 53 PE, you need to see how the company is growing, right? So here, when you go to PNL, there is something called as growth figures. So when you do the growth figures, you will see the entire data in growth. So you can see that right now, okay, it is seeing I mean, it is almost compounding at a 15-20% easily. So maybe paying 50 might not be a big challenge. I mean, is not a big thing, but just remember one thing, that if the valuations, if your basically the setup is breaking on the downside, like say for example 20 and 40 is breaking on the downside, it is worth doing some risk management, because you don't know if the growth is going to slow down, and that is what the market is factoring in. And that is why despite it uh, being at a relatively low valuation than its past, is it that the market is derating the counter? So this is how you can actually look at it. So just to mention it once again, you can right now do the reverse of it. Try to find where the sales are, or try to find where monthly buys are occurring. Okay, so say something like this. So where the monthly buys are occurring, and are valuation in your favor or no, you can do those things. And that can possibly help you out in figure out in figuring out the stock for now. But as I told you, we are hopeful that we should be able to do this optimization maybe by March end or April initial. So at that point of time, once we do it, we'll try to get this valuation live. I know we have been telling this for a while now, but there are some internal things that we are dealing with. So we are trying to push our limits. But yes, I mean, as soon as you see our entire system coming down to 1 minute delayed data, you will surely see we rolling out these all premium features. uh, so there is a question from student. Sorry, but my question is brings on the table is not answer. I need a clear. So, shouldn't you anyways get a 7-day free trial if uh, if you log into the platform? Just go and you explore. There is not just one thing that we are giving over here. You have technicals, fundamental, futures, options. There is sentiment data that you don't get anywhere else. All these things are there in a platform. I'm sure once you sign in and once you explore it, you will understand what it is worth. So yeah, thanks, student. So are there any other questions? Any other questions related to the topic that we have shared so far? I mean, that I've shared so far. And also, please, one thing that you can do is that you can follow us on Strike on Twitter, basically. And we actually post a lot of important things that I mean, insightful things that you might find it important. So be it valuation plus this. So this, you can see, is an open interest chart uh, with the stock trend and so on. So there are a lot of things that you will see. Like you can see over here, polycap was one of the thing that was highlighted, and you can see overvaluation and a big trend line breakdown. So you can find such insights, and which can help you to at least bring those stocks on your radar. So if possible, follow us on Strike, and I'm sure you will find a lot of value in the post that we put out there. And also we have our YouTube channel, which is which is Strike Money. You can follow us there. You can follow us there, and you can find all the videos over here in the live section. You will see all the webinars that we have done in the past. So I'm sure it will help you to gain a lot of knowledge, and a lot of insights has been provided through all these videos. What is the differentiating feature in Strike? Samir Kumar. So Samir, We have something called as sentiment indicators, like I mentioned to you. That gives you a lot of insights of how the market's trends are. Like for example, FI is positioning. Whenever they are extreme short, the market typically tends to bottom out, right? You can see over your. So this time actually they are record shots. Okay, so you kind of understand the context. In fact, there is something called as diffusion indicator. So any guys who are a mutual fund investor can also use this to their benefit. For example, you can see that since 2025. Okay, so I'll take it for Nifty total market, which includes large cap, mid caps, and everything. Okay, so it doesn't have much data, but let me take Nifty 500. So when you see Nifty 500, okay, you can see that in the past last decade, which is last 10 years, you would see that we have got only 4 or 5 signals, basically, when the percentage of stocks have gone below the 200 DMA. Okay, and this right now, if you will see, the sentiment is so bearish that you will think that the world will end tomorrow. Like, they are selling left, right, and center. But you can see that when you see the data more objectively, okay, you will see that at panic bottoms, you will see this indicator coming down. So this basically is percentage of stock about 200 SMA for the Nifty 500 components. So right now we are seeing only 9% of the components above the 200 DMA. Sorry, my bad. So you're seeing this extreme reading, and you can see that whenever in the past, we have got this extreme reading, eventually we have seen a very meaningful run. So all this kind of data points will help you to analyze things more objectively. Apart from that, we have offered we have catered to almost every segment of the traders or investors. So if you want short term analysis or very near term, so this strike or insights will help you a lot, because it gives a view of all the FNO stocks, where they are, with respect to the open interest that is there. So if they are near their call open interest, we term it as near resistance, right? So this way you can filter the stocks, and you can come down to those 5-10 stocks very quickly. Someone who is just a trend follower, they can see Dow trend and say, for example, in the weekly chart, which are the stocks that are breaking above the previous week's high. So we term it as down to up. So in this case, you can see that, say, Chola Holding is the one which is breaking above the previous high even in this down market. So this will quickly help you to spot the winners, and you will have to spend less time in scanning the stocks and more time in analyzing them, as to whether they are fitting in your bill or no. But there are lots and lots of scanners that are available in Strike, which can really help you. And the UI is so simple that within a click you can understand what is happening in the stock. So I'm sure it will help a lot of so I'm sure it will give you a lot of value. Okay, Savant, yeah, thanks for subscribing. I think someone from our team will quickly give you the access. Uh, so yeah, any other questions? Then, if there are any more questions, then we can answer it, or else we are almost 1.5 hours to this webinar, and I think. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Pinak. I think someone from our team will give you the access. How to plot overvaluation indicator on the chart. So yeah, Samir, you don't need to plot it. We have already given it. So let me share the screen. So you will see over here, Samir, that, say for example, I have taken, say IndusInd Bank. Okay, if I do fund, sorry, if I go to IndusInd Bank, go to charts and go to strike valuation setup, you will see the setup emerging over here. So there are different time frames that are given. You can look at whatever time frame is useful to you. So 1 to 3 years is for the short term traders, where you can see undervaluation plus RMI on a lower time frame, which is on the daily chart. So what we have done is that we have plotted 1 year to the daily chart. I mean, when you select 1 year, you will be shown daily chart and the daily RMI. When you do 3 to 5 years, you will see weekly chart and weekly RMI. Okay, when you do 10 years or max, you will see monthly charts and monthly RMI. Okay, of course, if you want to change the time frame, you can still change it and you can see it over here. But we have assigned a specific time frame. We have assigned time frames to specific periodics so that it makes your life easy to analyze it quickly. Okay, but you don't need to plot it. We have already done that work. You just need to check and see whether whether the stock is getting into undervaluation zone, overvaluation zone, and so on. So so yes, I think that's it probably for today's webinar. I don't see any question. So we are doing almost regular webinar in the weekdays as well. uh, Yeah, so there is an update from our team, Pinak and Savan. The access has been given. Please check it. If you don't get it, then raise the ticket. We will give it the access. So, so yes, thanks a lot for joining, and thanks a lot for your time on the weekend morning. Uh, so see you soon, and please follow us on Strike. So whatever webinars that we put out, we give the updates on Twitter. So please follow us and make the most of it, and for and also check our post. These are very insightful. I think couple of week back, we had done one webinar on insider trading as well. So we make sure to put this insider trading post as well. So in this down market, which are the promoters that are buying the stock, all these kind of details we give it over here. And for the people who don't know, we also have it in our you know in this tool. So once you go to, so on the left hand side you will see all the menu. So on the left hand side, when you go to deals and insiders, and within that you go to insider trades, you will understand which are the promoters that are buying their stock or which of them are selling it. So I'm sure this will further help you to screen the stocks effectively. So there are lots and lots of feature over there. Just explore it, and I'm sure you will get something of which will be beneficial to you. So so yes, thanks a lot for your time, and we will see you in the next webinar. Thank you. So just follow us on Strike and stay updated as to what webinars we are planning for the coming week. Okay, thank you so much for your time.